Going over to the political part podcast, you have the Chicago mayor calling the ICE raids terrorism as another city burns to the ground. Now, this is, of course, Chicago, so that's kind of par for the course. But here you can see Mr. Johnson being as mentally vacuous as always. Now, this is credited thanks to End Wokeness, and he says, quote, Mayor Johnson on the ICE raids says that, well, this is the U.S. at the South would have won the Civil War, which is especially mentally vacuous, but of course, it's Mayor of Chicago. Now, he did suit up. He did one smart thing in his career. It's a low bar, yes, but at least he suited up for the occasion.
They are absolutely terrified. And that's, look, I remember a few stand-ups ago when I talked about what terrorism looks like. This is it. There should be no question to what our country would look like had the Confederacy won. We're seeing it on full display. And
Mayor of Chicago, folks. Again, they keep voting for him time and time again. They got about 450,000 views and 4.2 thousand likes. And one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Based Electrician, who, A+ for marketing, you know exactly what he is. Oh my gosh. It went up 30 likes in a second. It's like a stock. Well, not some stocks. He says, quote, so if the Confederacy had won, Brandon Johnson would be destroying Chicago as the elected mayor, getting 283 likes. Which, yeah, I'm sure Chicago will be good and safe next year. Haha, political pun. Just like the Chicago Bears, historically speaking, no, that shan't happen. Chicago Bears, last time they won the Super Bowl, those pictures were saved to a floppy disk. It's an outdated media format, well, except for nuclear missiles. And you only know now as a save icon in Microsoft programs. Now, you also have Gunther Eagleman says, quote, Major Johnson is a racist shit, getting 5,000 likes. You also have Sarcasm Is Wit saying, quote, hey, Grok, what is Major Johnson's most recent approval ratings? Now they say, quote, Mayor Brandon Johnson's most recent approval rating from February 25th. Prestigious poll is 6.6%. Oh my God. Indicating significant public dissatisfaction. Yeah. They said it's as high as 14% in January. Wow. 6.6%. Statistically speaking, even my clips on the show are better rated than the mayor of Chicago. Matt Gay says, quote, why is it always about race with this moron? Getting 664, wow, 703 likes. XAlert says 6% approval rating, getting 1.3 thousand likes. Robney says, quote, I'm really concerned about these riots in Chicago. I think they have the ability to get 10 times worse than LA, getting 35 likes. That's not inconceivable. I mean, so Chicago does best is, crime, riots. See that. Sarah Smith says, quote, I wish this were false, and she has a picture that says Democrats love criminals, getting 27 likes. I mean, they love electing them too. I mean, look at when was the last time Chicago had a mayor that was not later proven to be corrupt and sent to jail or fined? Cynthia Bama says, quote, does he not know how the Democrats were the Confederates? He needs to read a history book, getting 53 likes. Ryan Ben says, all bless your heart, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. This is the U.S. and the South lost the war. They have a picture of the KKK with Democrats then, and then now it's the rioters getting 105 likes. You also have Darkstar saying, quote, Chicago keeps electing dumb Fs like him, don't they? Getting 24 likes. Community Notes says, yes, that is in fact true. Johnny R says, if the Confederacy had won, Davis and Stevens CSA would probably abide by the Constitution that the Founding Fathers had written, getting 28 likes. Ludino says, quote, he does realize that the Republicans did win the war, right? Getting 219 likes. AS has a famous quote from Martin Luther King Jr., and it's one of his quotes says this, when you realize that the people, or sorry, he wanted people to be judged by his character. That was what he was all about. Now, the meme says, quote, when you realize the people, you realize your people were being judged by the content of their character all along, getting 20 likes. Also have Copen saying, quote, the U.S. is the way it is because the South lost. The biggest mistake was not, pretty racist, shipping African Americans back. You all know it's true, even if you say it won't. Getting 26 likes. Was he ratioed? Because he got 8 responses. Oh, I like this response. This response from Michigan's smartass says, quote, that's a really dumb comment. Johnson has 6.6% approval rating, which means black people really hate him too. So we all have a lot in common. I get your trolling, but come on, get some better material than the Biden-esque tropes that you're spewing. I got more than 2 likes, but I did like the response to Mr. Open. Going down more and more. Johnson Robertson says, quote, not really. If the South would have won, there would be no illegals, and 29 likes. James says, quote, if the South would have won, he wouldn't have been mayor. How does he not see that? Getting 12 likes. Echo for Echo says, quote, had the South won the war, Mayor Johnson would not be mayor of Chicago, give Mayor Johnson the political moron award for this empty statement. Getting 18 likes. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I don't think at this point anyone's, I don't think anyone's really surprised by these comments. And I mean, we'll see what happens when it comes to the future of Chicago and what happens with the riots and the chaos. But let me know, do you think the outlook is going to get any better? I mean, do you think he'll win his re-election? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.